The rivalry between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes is one of the most notable in modern WWE history, featuring two WrestleMania main events that paid off in a gigantic way with two very different outcomes. It holds a special place, converting WWE from the era of Vince McMahon now into the era of Triple H. However, WWE's pivot away from a possible third Roman versus Cody match at WrestleMania left many diehard fans confused. Why abandon a proven blockbuster? Some claim that WWE going apparently in a different direction with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania 42 could be a mistake. What do you think? Watch now as we lay out the reasoning behind why a third time may not be a charm for the American Nightmare and the OTC. Sound off with your take in the comments below. The most obvious reason is maybe the most surface level one. A third match would feel maybe a little bit too repetitive to some fans. WrestleMania, the biggest wrestling show of the year, is built on the culmination, the big payoff, and a trilogy closing series between Cody and Roman could be just that. But repetition could dull that promise. Roman versus Cody already was told over two complete story arcs across 2 years with a lot of supporting players and a lot of ups and downs. Roman's empire crushing Cody's championship dream, followed by Cody's redemption to finish the story, and humble Roman in the biggest defeat of his career. A third chapter risks feeling a little unnecessary, more like an epilogue than a must-see sequel. If it can't top gracefully and follow the outstanding Mania matches and moments they had before, is it worth rolling the dice to do it? Not just the matches, but the all-encompassing storylines that built to those big matches. WWE has been criticized in the past for maybe having too many rematches, but under Triple H, it's largely emphasized variety and freshness on the biggest stage. Even if that match delivered on all fronts, the emotional stakes might be harder to recapture the third time around. More importantly, the crowd reaction may no longer favor Cody the way it did at WrestleMania 40. That's not to say that Cody isn't one of the biggest wrestlers in the world, it's just not as sharp as it once was. Cody clearly is one of WWE's standard bearers, a clean-cut, inspirational Captain America, a genuine good guy with very little shades of gray. But wrestling fans are fickle, and Roman Reigns occupies a unique space within the fan perception. After years as a dominant villain, Roman has slowly transformed into a complex, hubris egomaniac that is still very cool in the pocket and benefits from the standing of feeling like a special attraction because he's not on TV every single week. He's not exactly a heel, he's not exactly a babyface. The fact that Roman is less of a villain currently does not lend itself to the standing of Cody's genuine fight the good fight focus. Roman may be who he is, but he's not the evil emperor that was the perfect foe for Cody before. That combination between them totally paid off for both performers. Also, this time around, Roman is set to do things in a completely different way with more fan support, a different way than he has in years. Doing it alone. Roman's act as the tribal chief was intriguing because he had a tribe of supporting players in the Wise Man, Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, Sami Zayn, and the Usos. They could all maintain his interests when he was not physically present. This year, it wouldn't work. This is a completely different Roman, a maturation, a lot of the Roman you liked before, but now Solo pursuing his own path and proving once again that he is still the OTC. This is 2026, not 2023 or 2024. So while Roman Reigns rolls out of the Royal Rumble with the victory and the choice of world champions he wants to face at WrestleMania, it gives him something fresher than another Cody rematch, a true singles feud with the world heavyweight champion, currently CM Punk. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk doesn't need external interference or faction warfare to feel important. It's a clash of ideologies, egos, legacies, and long-standing unsettled issues between the two men. Punk represents rebellion, a voice of the voiceless, authenticity, and anti-authority sentiment. Roman represents institutional dominance, legacy, power that is trying to be regained through conquest once again. Stripped of his bloodline, Roman versus Punk becomes two men who believe they are the standard by which WWE should be measured. The feud has depth and unpredictability, maybe a factor that Roman versus Cody simply doesn't have circumstantially or naturally at this point. But there's this other reported, and we want to emphasize reported, not confirmed, backstage scenario for what could have been if we did indeed get Roman versus Cody for a third time around the sun at WrestleMania 42. From a storytelling standpoint, Roman reportedly wanted Cody Rhodes to turn heel for a third match. You can see the logic in that. Turning Cody heel would drastically change their rivalry dynamic. But from the noble underdog seeking fame to a cunning, self-righteous villain who believes he's owed the spotlight as the company's favored star, that would be an element that doesn't lend itself to a Cody Rhodes that's gonna be there after WrestleMania when Roman isn't. Meanwhile, Roman would be a more realistic anti-hero type character, fighting to protect his legacy from a man corrupted by authority and privilege. The approach would be daring and very risky from a full-on creative potential, but it didn't work, and Triple H and his creative team reportedly refused it. Once again, emphasis on reported. Cody Rhodes continues to be, whether he's the WWE champion, the challenger, or the man trying to prove if you wrong him, he's gonna come and get you, a top babyface in WWE, if not the top babyface hero. Villains need heroes, and fans need heroes the most. Outside of the perpetually online wrestling crowd, I don't mean to tell you you're wrong. Cody is a genuine wrestling hero to younger fans and casual audiences, and that is important. That role is not broken, and it doesn't need to be fixed with a flip to being a bad guy. At least not right now. Turning Cody Rhodes heel, especially at this level, introduces uncertainty. Not to saying that uncertainty and upheaval aren't an interesting element, but you also risk merchandise, public perception, long-term branding. It all becomes harder to control. Triple H and his creative team have shown their willingness to take those risks, but flipping Cody could have crossed a line. They did it with John Cena. It was a risk, and it didn't pay off on his farewell tour. Do you want a possible repeat of that with Cody Rhodes? No, I don't think so. The decision also ties into a broader issue on Monday Night Raw, the perception of the World Heavyweight Championship. Since its inception, the World Heavyweight title has often felt secondary, a belt born out of showing that WWE has a fighting champion both on Raw and SmackDown. While excellent performers like Seth Rollins and Gunther have held the title has struggled to shake the sense that it exists in the shadow of Roman Reigns' dominance from years ago, unifying two different world titles, and the lineage that stands decades previous with the WWE Championship held by SmackDown's Drew McIntyre. The best in the world, CM Punk, is truly fighting his star power into the big gold belt, but now Roman Reigns can do that as well. In the end, avoiding a third WrestleMania match between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes isn't about rejecting the rivalry, it's about protecting it. And they can always get back to that match. Sometimes the biggest WrestleMania moment is the one WWE chooses not to book.